Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Tarps Off. Today, since I missed today because I just ran out of time yesterday, I'm going to do the review for the November 22nd NHL games. That's Wednesday's games. So we're going to start with 14 games on the slate. We're going to start off with the Habs and the Ducks. So the first period, Montreal scores. They open up scoring at 5:59. Alex Newhook scoring from Tanner Pearson, former Canuck, and Brendan Gallagher. Kaden Billy would then score 6:37 from Jesse Lonen and Jake Evans. So 2-0 Montreal going into the second. Second period, 53 seconds in, Mason McTavish adds one for the Ducks from Leo Carlson and Pavel Mendyukov on the power play. Mike Matheson would then score for the Habs at 1:49 from Suzuki and Barron. And McTavish just scored second of the game at 6 minutes from Vetrano and Tristan Laneo. Third period, Frank Vetrano would score one at 11:31 from McTavish and Cam Feller, and then Newhook would score one for the Habs at 16:40 from Jake Evans. Montreal takes that one 4-3. Alright, San Jose and Seattle. So in the first period, Seattle opens up the scoring. Brandon Tanev scoring from 1:28 from Wenberg and Alexiak. Bjorkstrand would then add one for the Kraken at 10:36 from Yanni Gordon and Eli Tolvanen. 11:07, Adam Larson would score from Abilene McCann, former Canuck. Then Yanni Goddard would score one from Borgen and Bjorkstrand at 18:45 of the first. Second period, Jared McCann, former Canuck, would score 3:36 from Schultz and Bjorkstrand on the power play. Then the third period, Tolvanen would add another one for the Kraken to put them up 6-0 at 2:22 from Bjorkstrand and Dumoulin. Hoffman would then get the first and only goal for the Sharks at 15:32 from Nikita Kotic, some of these names, and Kyle Burrows, also a former Canuck. And then at 15:46, Tolman would score from Alexiak. Seattle takes that one 7-1. So things still not great for the Sharks. Anyway, moving on to St. Louis and Arizona. So St. Louis opens up the scoring. Braden Shen scoring from Jake Neighbors at 8:47. Busai would tie it up. Nick Busai would tie it up for the Coyotes at 10:40 from Matthias Michelli. Colton Parayko would then score for the Blues to put them up 2-1 at 12:15. Assist to Brendan Saad. And then Jason Zucker would tie it up at 18:06 from Michael Carcone, whichever one is the right one. Second period, Lawson Cross would put the Coyotes in the lead at 22 seconds from Michelli and Bukestad. Nicolaides would then score for the Blues short-handed from Kasperi Kapanen at 3:40. Toropchenko would score at 4:13 from Justin Falk, short-handed as well. Carcone would score at 6:56 of the second from Kerfoot and Travis Boyd. He's a former Canuck as well. And then Nick Schmaltz would score at 8 minutes from J.J. Moser and Clayton Keller. And then 10:49, Robert Thomas would score for the Blues from Kyrou and Perinovic, if that's right. And then third period, Blues would cement their win at 4:13. Kevin Hayes scoring from Brendan Saad. They take one 6-5 in regulation. All right, Philadelphia and New York Islanders. So in the first period, Anders Lee scores for the Islanders at 1:49 from Oliver Wahlstrom. Brock Nelson would score in the second period, 13:10 from Pellick and Engvall. Cam York would score for the Flyers from Owen Tippett and Ryan Poling at 14:18. In the third period, Brock Nelson would score second in the game at 2:33 from Engvall and Pellick. And then at 15:56, Joel Farabee would score for the Flyers, assisted by Bobby Brink. Islanders take that one 3-2. The short one here, Rangers versus Pittsburgh. First period, Lafreniere scores from Mika Zibanejad at 5:10. Second period, no scoring. Third period, no scoring. Rangers take that one 1-0. Alright, Blue Jackets and Blackhawks. So in the first period, Boone Jenner will score for the Blue Jackets, at 2:57 from Werenski and Bookvist. Um, Erica Branson, former Canuck, would score at 6:46 from Marchenko. Jenner would score second of the game from Goudreau and Werenski on the power play at 13:55 of the first. And then Bedard would score his 10th. I believe he set a record there. Possibly. At 15:41 from Khrushchev and Isaac Phillips. Second period, Cole Sillinger would score from Werenski and Chinnikov at 7:32. 12:16, Dmitry Voronkov would score from Sillinger and Werenski. Then Marchenko would score at 16:28 from Boqvist and Provorov. And then Laine would score at 18:40 from Adam Fantilli. So Laine scoring in the game after he got scratched. Third period, Jason Dickinson, former Canuck, would score unassisted at 6:06. And then Reese Johnson would score for the Blackhawks at 8:41 from Mackenzie Entwistle. And the Blue Jackets take that one 7-3. Boston and Florida, so a rematch of the first round in last year's playoffs. First period at 18:35, Charlie Collar would score from Denton Heinen and Hampus Lindholm. Second period, Anton Lundell would score from Nick Cousins and Mikko Mikkola at 10:33 to tie it at 1. John Beecher would score at 11:14 from Lacko and Brown to put Boston back in the lead. And then at 14:19, DeBrus would score from Poitras. He's having an unbelievable season already. In the third period, no scoring. Boston takes that one 3-1. Winnipeg and Tampa Bay. So Winnipeg's been on a good run right now. Anyways, and it continues with this game. So the first game, or first period, at 5:29, Josh Morrissey would score from Dylan DeMello and Nikolai Ehlers. Scheifele would score at 13:06 from Morrissey and Perfetti on the power play. Stamkos would put the Lightning within 1 at 18:06 from Nikita Kucherov and Victor Hedman on the power play. Second period, Braden Point would tie it up at 16:13. Third period, Point was assisted by Brandon Hagel. Third period, no scoring. Then in overtime, Adam Lowry would score at 1:39 from Pionk and Nemestikov to give the Winnipeg Jets the win, 3-2 in overtime. Alright, Oilers and Hurricanes. Another game that Braden might heard with joy. First period, Jesper Fast scores for the Canes at 9:17 from Martinic and Chatfield. At 9:42, Jack Drew would score from Bunting and Orlov. Teuvo Teravainen would add another one to make it 3-0 at 11:23 from Aho and Jarvis. And then Jarvis would score one of his own at 14:48 from Teravainen and Chatfield. Hyman would then score for the Oilers at 17:13 from Draisaitl and Bouchard on the power play. Natchez would then add one in the second period at 2:13 from Svechnikov and Shea. Ekholm would score from McLeod and Fogle shorthanded at 17:48 the second. Third period, Hyman scores at 3:46 from McDavid and Hopkins. And then Burroughs would empty net one at 18:56 from Stahl and Slavin. Carolina takes that one 6-3. Further spiraling the Red Oilers into a pit. Although they did win 5-0 against Capitals today, which was odd. Anyways, Red Wings and Devils, we'll talk about that one tomorrow. Red Wings and Devils, okay. First period, Lucas Raymond scored for the Red Wings at 16:58 from Robbie Fabry and JT Compher. Larkin would add one less than a minute later, I think. My math isn't great. At 17:18, Dylan Larkin scores from DeMerkit. Robbie Fabry would score one of his own at 18:10 from Daniel Sprong and Joe Veleno. Second period, at 9:05, Morris Sutter would score from Sprong and Woolman on the power play. Third period, no scoring. Detroit takes it 4-0. So the Devils in a bit of a dire situation right now. Not really, but they need the game today. Alright, Buffalo and Washington. First period, JJ Peterka scores at 10:09 from Yost and Olofsson. Zach Benson would then score for the Sabres from Olofsson at 16:04. Alexander Alexiev would score for the Capitals at 17:01 from Nick Dowd. I believe he was a former Canuck as well. And Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Second period, TJ Oshie would score from Connor McMichael at 7:50. Cousins would then score from Dahlian and Middlestat on the power play at 16:10. Tom Wilson would tie it up at 18:45 of the third from Dylan Strome and John Carlson. And then Strome would win it 4:52 into overtime from John Carlson. The Capitals take that one 3-4 in overtime. We'll get this one out of the way. Not my favorite game of the night. Vancouver versus Colorado. First period is 16-23. Niels Hoglander scores in his return from a slew foot and a game misconduct. Or a match penalty, whichever it was called. He scores from Bavillia and Lafferty. 17-37, Nichushkin would score from Renton and Druin on the power play. And then Druin would score at 18-43 from McCarr and Bone Byram. Second period at 9:04, JT Miller would tie it up from Quinn Hughes and Philip Verona. Quinn Hughes again atop the leaderboard. The NHL. Third period, Riley Tufte would score 124 from Miles Wood and Ross Colton. 12:38, McCarr would score unassisted, and then at 13:38 or 16:38, Rantanen would score from McKinnon and Nichushkin at the empty net. Colorado takes that one 5-2. Hopefully, Vancouver has a bounce back against Seattle tonight. All right, Vegas and Dallas. So rematch of the Western Conference Final from last year. I believe those were the same. Anyways, first period at 10:26, Michael Amadia scores from Nick Waugh and Chandler Stevenson on the power play. Second period at 19:17, Rupe Hintz would score from Pavelski and Robertson. Third period, no scoring, and then in overtime at 1:57, Jack Eichel scores from Jonathan Marchessault and Aiden Hill. So Vegas takes that one 2-1 in overtime. All right, Calgary and Nashville. So first period, Colton Sissons would score from Roman Josi and Cole Smith shorthanded at 2:33. Noah Hannafin would score at 4:46, tied up Chris Tanev, former Canuck. At 11:23, Ryan O'Reilly would score from McDonough and Nyquist. Second period, no scoring. Third period, Alex Carrier scores at 11:56 unassisted. 12:22, Juuso Parssinen would score from Tomasino and McDonough on the power play. And then at 19:15, Igor Serengevich would score unassisted shorthanded for the Flames. That wouldn't be enough. Nashville takes that one 4-2. So those are all 14 games from the 22nd, Wednesday. We missed a day yesterday, as I said, because I just didn't have time. So that's it for today. Hit like if you'd like to subscribe if you feel like it. And I'll see you all for a review of tonight's games. That's Friday, tomorrow. Adios.